I'm gonna give you guys the sauce. Basically, if you really want to break into the industry, go to the shows that you want to go. Go support the talent buyers, the artists. Talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Be put yourself out there.
Welcome back to the Realtor Chronicles. I'm here with Cristen. Why don't you tell people what you do?
I'm a artist manager, marketer, talent buyer, everything all in one.
Explain, how did you get into this field? Like, what did you do after high school?
So after high school, honestly, I was just going to COD. I was just, going through the motions, not really knowing what I wanted to do. I think I was trying to do psychology at first, but then I quickly realized
Wasn't for you.
that's not what I wanted to do. And then I would say maybe my sophomore year,
Mhm.
my friend was DJing at this club, Medusa in
I've heard of it.
Elgin, and me not knowing anything about the music industry or even what an artist manager was, I was like, let me be your manager.
Okay.
And so that kind of what kicked off my career,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So I would say that was pretty much how I got started.
Because I know you ended up working with your cousin on some stuff, and then that's when you kind of
Yeah.
broke in.
So getting into that, so once I said I was an artist manager, I quickly realized I knew my cousins did something in music, but I didn't really know what it was. And then I quickly found out that one of them is an artist manager that's was successful, as well as one of them is a big talent buyer for React Presents, which isn't around anymore, but Spring Awakening, all the big Freaky Deaky, all that. So they kind of brought me into the game and showed me the ropes pretty much.
So they just booked the artist?
Yeah, so a talent buyer is basically someone who buys the talent, who's gonna pay the artist to play,
Okay.
basically. So that's what one of my cousins did, and my other cousin is actually an artist manager. So I have two cousins.
They have
So,
both two people in the business.
yeah, so it's just crazy.
So then, how many people are you managing right now?
So so I work for a management company. So
Okay.
I work with my cousin, and so I co-manage on a management team with let's say I don't even know how many, but I would say maybe 6 artists altogether right
Okay.
now. Probably I would say. So I would say 4 or 5 with him, and then 2 on my own, 2, 3 on my own.
Okay. And then, are you doing marketing also? Because I know you said you do marketing.
Yeah, I do a lot of. So just working in the music industry, it's marketing. Yeah, you have to market. You want to building an artist is marketing and making them appeal to their audience, and so for say show marketings and stuff. I do a lot of kind of the build of helping sell out the show. What can we do? Can we do a ticket giveaway? Could we do a contest? Kind of anything to get people to buy tickets, pretty much. And so let's say my artist is the headliner. I have to be in charge of how are we going to sell tickets? What could we do working with the talent buyer and their marketing team and seeing what can we do to help sell the show and put it over the line, basically.
What's is there something you do all the time? Is there a general layout that you use? Hey, what are we gonna do? Instagram giveaway and do this, or is it every artist is a little different?
I guess every artist is a little different. Some artists are very particular, what they want as far as branding. You have to get it approved by them. Some, just don't care as long as it's within their branding. And basically usually I kind of want to run things through them before I do. I don't want to just do anything out of nowhere. So that's kind of how it goes about. I mean, there's usually similar things there's always a ticket giveaway most of the time and stuff, but there's other things sometimes a contest for an opener, for instance. Some of these local guys who want to get up there and perform. This is the opportunity for them to do it, basically.
How long does it take? You get the project. What's usually the deadline? Is it a month out, 3 months out?
What do you mean by
So let's say if you're gonna have a show this Friday. How far back do you know of the show? How far back do you start the marketing?
So
And what's the whole process that goes through it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, like the whole process. So, like once you get like bigger, like you're gonna get assigned to an agency. Like you're just like, I don't know if you're really familiar, like UTA, United Talent Agency, or Wasserman, which are like the big dogs when it comes to like agents, and they're the ones that are gonna like, hey, we got an offer from Insomniac to do a show for this amount of money, and do you guys want to accept it, or what do you want to do with stuff? And these usually come like months out, maybe like 2 months out, usually about that time frame, so you can plan it out. Usually the agent, their job is really to like, make sure like it aligns like with what like shows that you have ready prior.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like, there's not like a conflict or anything like that. So usually like I'll say about a month or two. Okay. For sure.
And then so that's for marketing. Now what else? You used to work for a marketing firm, right? Or is it the same thing? Because I know you quit one of your jobs to pursue this all the way. Or is it the same job?
No. So beforehand, I was doing like marketing, but I ended up just going full time as an artist manager. I say maybe like almost a year now.
Now, how did that change from like being part time? Did they just give you more people and then more responsibility?
Yeah, there's more responsibility basically. So more responsibilities, just like stuff that like takes up more of your time now. And I guess like the thing with like being an artist manager is really just like honestly a 24/7 job. Yeah.
Now, how do you? I know you always fly out to like different places. Like I think like you were in like LA once, and then you're in New York. How does that like work with your job? Is it like they want you just there to like show face since you're part of it, like someone there? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, sometimes like, so for instance, like a tour, you really need someone like a tour manager to be there and like operating, making sure everything is like running smooth, because a tour is like not like a regular show. Like if like the artist is ready, like doing like a one-off show, it's not the same as like a tour, which is like more stuff. You have like more moving parts, but sometimes I just go out of my own like will, just want to go like make sure it goes well, like make sure like also like I'm very good at like I would say like getting content like on the phone, so like like the TikTok, Instagram, Reels content, I'm pretty good with that. So sometimes I just go just in general.
That sounds like actually pretty fun. What's like do you have any like big, I don't know if you can say like big shows, or do you like, what's something you're looking forward to?
So one of our clients, Chill, she's dropping an EP this Friday with Mac, which is like Stevie Aoki's label. So that's coming out this Friday. I don't know if this is gonna be out before then, but like
no, it'll be out. Cayman's this Friday. I'll depending if I can get this on like a platform that'll push it automatically, because I'm gonna be out of town Thursday.
Okay, yeah.
I gotta see.
So basically like the EP is gonna come out this Friday on the 21st. So that's pretty hyped about that. Seeing like her growth and seeing like what's the next like level that we can take this. Now that like she was like relatively a little bit smaller, now bigger, doing tours with Stevie Aoki, now doing other shows and now her own EP, and now like breaking into that festival circuit and like doing bigger, better stuff. Headline, next year. We'll see. Not saying anything, but yeah, headline.
It sounds like you might be.
Yeah, so that's something. I guess the other thing is too is like one of my like personal clients that I'm working with, like outside of like working with my cousin, which is like this artist named Cab, which I'm really hyped about. We're releasing with this label called Sable Valley, which is like R.L. Grimes like label, which is like a big, probably like the most like pristine like trap label in the industry. So we got him releasing with that, and then we're gonna follow up doing his like LA debut and with a Insomniac show. So that's coming in September. So that's gonna be, I'm really hyped about that and seeing like what we can do with that, because that's my ultimate goal, I guess, is like to really like make my own name instead of like I want to.
How does that work now? To make like when you make your own name, would you start your own company, or do you stay with your company? It's just more people know of you.
No, I would say your own company, or like I would say your own company, your own clientele. Like obviously the easier route is like working for like a ready-made management company or even like label and like having working with their artists that they're giving you. So that's like the easier route, but like the route I want to eventually take is like obviously like being self-made and basically like making my own name, having my own clients.
So I don't know how this will work, but with the clients you're working with now, if you were to start your own thing, would they come with you or are they signed to that company?
I mean, it really depends. I mean, I'm not gonna say like they'll come with me, but like I already have like some guys who are not like attached to that, so like they obviously would come with me. But yeah, I would say they're just with the company I work with. I wouldn't want to like take them away, but yeah, basically like I have like my own guys and like growing my own clientele like through my own company basically eventually. So
now I know you're all over the USA mostly. I mean, this is your headquarters, but would you ever want to leave Illinois to live somewhere else? Would it be easier to be like somewhere else, a different state, a different headquarters?
Yeah, I mean, I would say LA obviously is like the
top spot.
Yeah, the top spot for sure. Like, or Miami, for instance, or New York. It usually is LA or New York, to be honest. But definitely LA. That's where like the rest of like the team I work with lives at.
Okay.
So that would probably be like the easier move. But I just honestly I love living in Chicago, Illinois in general. Like I love it here. Like all my family and friends are here.
I mean everybody.
Yeah. So and girlfriend. So I gotta throw that in.
Are you ever planning to like move to the city? Because I know like you work in a lot of your shows are in the city. Yeah. Would you want to get a place out there?
Yeah, I'm honestly like I'm actually like torn because I'm like, is it even worth it? Like, should I just like make that jump to LA and like instead of just going to the city? Even though I want to say that I've lived in the city, but where
would you want to live in the city? Like what neighborhood?
Honestly, like Lincoln Park or Wicker Park, up north for sure.
Where that fucking parking surround is.
Yeah.
Like just there, like I've been everywhere. I'm like, city parking's terrible. I'm like, no, up north parking's terrible.
Yeah, up north it could be bad and stuff, but I just love it over there. It's more chiller, honestly, compared to living in like the main, like River North, like West Loop, River North. Like holy shit, I don't think I could do that. Like, but I definitely want to. I wouldn't mind living in a city, obviously. Yeah.
So like, going forward, what are like your goals going forward, for, like your job or like even just like life? Like, what do you like have like? Is there big milestones in the near future you want to accomplish? I know getting some of your artists a little bigger.
Yeah, I guess like my goal is like honestly to eventually start my own company. I'm hoping that like I finally get like my own artists to take that next level that I need them to, so I can start like actually making revenue off of them. Yeah. So then building on that, grabbing more clients and building my own name, and obviously either starting it here or LA. Who knows? So that's like really my like end goal. So yeah, that's what I would say. That's my real goal. Now
I know you work with a lot of DJs. Do you work with any other artists, or is it just DJs for right now?
Well, I usually work with like EDM acts. There is one act on our roster that's not EDM, more like indie pop. Her name is Blue the Tiger. I worked with her a little bit. She's like definitely like our biggest client. She just was on tour with Charlie Puth and Sabrina Carpenter.
I don't know her, but Charlie Puth.
Yeah. So she's pretty up there. I don't work with her as much, but I want to like start doing some more stuff and that kind of breaking into that realm, because honestly, that's where the money really is. Honestly, like if you're working with like a pop artist or even like hip hop, for instance, like
how would you like break into that? Is it just you like working with like them?
Yeah, I mean,
eventually like be like, hey Christian, we got this artist, here you go.
Or you can just you can find someone that's like you feel like that's like talented and you want to sign them, and if you sign them, then
so you get to decide who you sign.
Yeah, if I want to sign someone, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how do you go on like throughout the process of doing that? Do you go to like random shows? Is it just like word of mouth? Like if you hear something?
Honestly, the the big thing right now for me, and like I think for everyone, like finding like new talent and artists right now is like TikTok. TikTok is really like crazy. Like I'm able to find like artists that off of that, like the algorithm just like somehow like pumps it into my stuff, and then I'm like, okay, like who the hell's this?
And then how's that work? Do you just like message them, and then do you look up like their Instagram?
Yeah, like I want to look up like the numbers and like see what they like what they got, what they're working with, and then kind of reaching out and seeing like reaching out, want to hear like what demos they got, like I want to hear like what shit they got on release, and then you go from there and see if it's something that makes sense for like both of you guys, and then then that's usually how the steps work to like signing an artist.
And then how long does it take to sign an artist?
It could be relatively quick, honestly. Like it just really depends on like
how if they have everything kind of set up already.
Yeah, I mean like it's just really up to like both parties coming to an agreement. I guess like when you like for like a bigger management company, like for what I work with, there's obviously like contracts involved, and
of course.
I'm like then you have to bring the lawyers in, and then that's obviously a longer process. But like sometimes it could just be a handshake deal, honestly. And then like if it gets bigger, you can pull out a contract, and then that's what like if usually that happens when you guys are really starting to make money.
Mm-hmm. How do you? I know earlier you said it's like working with pop artists to make more revenue. How do you get paid? Like not the number, but like how do you get paid? Is it like the company would just pay you for like taking on these new clients, or is it like if your clients are doing good, then you are making money?
So basically, like your revenue is really just based on their artists. So like that's why like it's so important to like grow artists and get to a point where they're making enough money off of like streams, shows,
mm-hmm.
even like sync licensing, which is like getting like your song in a commercial, for instance. That's you get a lot of money for that, and like artist manager usually takes 20% of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like since I work for a company, I get paid a salary, so I get paid a salary. So, but off my own clients, I get like a percentage just of like what they like everything they make, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what's like the most money that comes in? Like is it like through like streams?
Or shows.
Shows.
Sure. Yeah. I mean shows definitely. Honestly, like that's like the big ticket. Honestly, so. Like when the pandemic hit, I know that was like a big deal for like the music industry because like all the artists usually a lot of their money comes from shows.
Mm-hmm.
So because honestly, streaming platforms don't pay out like the greatest unless you're like doing like crazy numbers on the stream. So definitely like shows you're gonna make the most money off of shows, festivals.
And is it like how is the pay different from like doing like a festival or doing like a one-off show?
Festivals definitely pay the most.
Pay the most.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna get good money playing festivals.
And then is it for like planning just the festival? Is it still on like a 2-month thing, or is it a lot longer? Because
it's a lot longer. They usually want to book those out almost a year in advance. Yeah, like those like the actual like bigger like artists, they usually get booked out a year in advance.
So how does that work? Because they don't know what they're gonna play. They're just booking the artists because they're hot at that moment. And then they're just hoping they stay kind of like relevant for the whole year, or if it's like...
I mean, usually like you're going to stay pretty relevant the whole year. It's just like, you're booking just based off of like, honestly, when it comes to like talent buying, I think it's really just depend on like their budgeting, like who can they, like what artists cost this much and like how much they're willing to spend for each artist. So like, let's say like if a festival was just all like headliners and shit, like, they would be freaking like damn near a headline could be $1 million. Like some of the big people that like
Drake,
that's like definitely $1 million plus. $1 million plus, yes, for sure. So you can't just like put a whole lineup just full of headliners, and plus like it would make them mad because like if they feel they're a headliner and they want a good slot. They want a good slot. You're not gonna have them play like freaking 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
they want to play
closing.
Closer. So that's how I usually base. Like you spent the most money at the top with like the headliners, and then you like sprinkle down the money to like other acts, and then like till it comes down to almost like locals where you're just like giving them like I don't know, I guess so and so chump change, Yeah. But that's usually how it works.
music industry. I have a question for you. How is now for the so I've heard a lot of stuff where it's like, let's say this person is booked in February 3rd for like this artist is like maybe worth like $100K for a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
A music festival will come in and pay him like 500, and then he'll leave the spot that he's at to go over here to do this show. Is that happening like that in your opinion? Like they're paying artists that aren't worth that much more money to play over here, and then it's like bringing up the cost of that artist now.
So like inflation based.
Yeah.
Not that I've witnessed, honestly. I haven't witnessed anything like that, honestly. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if like talent buyers like are trying to like pay more to this artist to play at their event than another event. Because I mean, usually like there is like, you know, like rivalries between like who can throw better shows. Like for instance, like Chicago, you got like Aris Presents, and then you got Collective. Collective does North Coast. Aris does Arc Music Festival, and they happen to be on the same weekend in September. So
North
like,
Coast and Arc.
Yeah,
well, I've never heard of Arc, so North Coast is winning.
Well, Arc is like the techno house.
Okay.
So they got like, it's pretty big too. So like,
where's it at?
I don't remember. This one would be actually gonna be my first year going actually. So I've done North Coast last year. So, but this year I'm gonna go. I don't know where it's at. I think it's somewhere. I don't know. I honestly really don't know off the top of my head. But it's literally happens on the same weekend, and it's two different companies. So it's just like who has like.
Who could bring in the most?
Yeah, who we can bring in the most, honestly. So it's always interesting that they did that. Like they purposely like let's throw the same a festival on the same weekend that they're throwing a festival. So
wait, now is it new Arc or is it like something that's been around for a while?
I would say about 2 years now. Like once like the pandemic ended, like that started up. But it's just mostly like techno and house music. Yeah, and then you got like North Coast, which is like everything, which is basically like Spring Awakening now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's over there in SeatGeek Arena. Yeah, that's where that one's at.
North Coast.
Yeah, North Coast and SeatGeek Arena over there in the South Side.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, you've been to a lot of festivals. What's your ideal festival or like ideal? Do you have like any memories of like you went to a festival and you had like a great time, a great weekend? Where was it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a great time. I mean, I went to Lala last year. We had an artist play, and that was like the first time going to Lala and like having like all access. So like it was definitely like interesting, like on a big scale of festival like that, which is like, you know, Lala's like the biggest festival here in Chicago. So, you know, it was interesting. They have like a whole like area that they call it like the Artist Village. It even had its own name, and it was like hidden from like the public. And it was like a pretty decent sized area, but like it had like little stores in there, and they had like free bar, free food, had
like,
catered
just for the artists.
Yes, for artists and anyone that's like in like the music industry, like who have artist passes and like their team. And so it was pretty like surreal, like seeing all that and like seeing like people that like bigger artists just walking around that like you've seen or you know.
Who's the biggest? The most famous person you saw
back there?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I mean, I saw Cole Bennett for sure, like Cole Bennett from Lyrical Lemonade.
Okay.
I seen. I'm trying to think who else I've seen. I've seen other people. I can't really remember who I saw. I don't remember the names and stuff, but I definitely seen a couple of people in there that were bigger. Damn, I can't remember.
Now, are they walking around with like a group of people, like security, or is it more like
no? It's like it's chill. Everyone's chill. Like, cause like everyone that's there is usually supposed to be there.
Okay.
Like no, like there's randoms and stuff. Like if there is a random, like they probably gonna kick them out. Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, cause you just can't get an artist pass. Like you have to know someone, or have an artist playing something. So definitely.
Now, did you stay for all 4 days?
No, that was like my mistake. Because when I got the wristband, I was like thinking, oh, this is only for the day that the artist I'm representing is playing. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go like the next day. And then I realized like, I think I gave one to my friend, and I saw him go the next day, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, I could have fucking come all day. So I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, I took an L on that part, but I mean, that one day alone was like really good. I was able to see like a bunch of artists, Don Tolliver. I saw. I'm trying to think who else. There's other artists, Recno, Whipped Cream, like, and you have like all access, so you're able to go everywhere basically.
Now, did you ever have like, since you are going to be able to see them, did you like have a conversation with them, or do you kind of like stay like back, or it's like, hey, nice set?
Honestly, like I met a lot of like famous people before, but like I usually like I'm not someone that like usually walk up. I'm like honestly, for me, like was more beneficial for me is talking to like their managers than talking to like them, because like what could they really do? And like I mean, they're just the artists, and like really the manager is when we're gonna like actually like talk business, if there is like business to be like spoken. Yeah, so that's usually how I go about. But like obviously I met like a lot of people before. I met Stevie Aoki. I met Tiesto actually not that long ago. He was here in Chicago. Okay. Met him, like Slander, a lot of people. Just a lot of like big EDM acts for sure. Like, so it's pretty cool. But like I just like don't tend to like geek out about it.
Now for like their managers, I know like when you think of like a manager, you think of like suit and tie. I'm guessing just. I've never seen you, so is it like when you like scan the room, can you like point out like, oh, he's definitely a manager, just like?
Well, the manager. So being a manager, honestly, is like you have to have like a really strong personality, and I like you have to be someone that's like willing to take charge, and like I don't know if like when we were in high school, if I like because like when I was like thinking to myself like, damn, like I never would have thought. I don't know, maybe it was like a trait that I had, but I think like when you're a manager, you have to be someone that like is willing like
you're out here running the train. You're leading it.
Yeah, you're leading it. You're a leader, and like you're making moves, and like you're like when shit goes wrong, you're able to fix it. So usually like you can pretty much like spot them out most of the time. They're usually with the
artists.
Yeah, or they're talking to like the people that are like part of the show, like who are like running like the show. So yeah, I don't know. I like actually a question for you. Like when we were like growing up, did you ever thought I would do something like this?
Bro, I didn't even know. Like talking to you, I was like, I didn't know, because like me, you, Alex, and everybody. Like I'm surprised like everyone landed. Like everybody's doing something. I was like, I can't believe it.
Yes.
But I know like you were going to COD. I didn't know for a while, and then all of a sudden I heard like you got a job with your cousin doing the music stuff, and then you moved, so I didn't see you for a while. And then it's like I heard, and then when we connected for like the Jefferson reunion, you told me like, yeah, I'm about to like leave my other job and go full swing into it, and I was like, dang.
I mean, yeah, just like I just like find it interesting like to ask people, because like it's not something that like not a lot of people do. Like I don't really know like anyone from our high school.
Well, there's not like a general path to what you do.
Yeah, it really isn't. Technically, you don't need to go to school. Honestly, you really don't.
That's like, well, it's one thing that like, kind of scares people, because like there's no like to do what you did is like hard, because there's not like one route to take together. Like there's not like I'm gonna do this and I'll end up here. That's not right in front of your face. Like if you want to be like a doctor, it's like, wait, you gotta go to school. But for you, it was like it seemed like you just like found it and then you just like went and did it.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. I mean, I guess like going through the motions like in COD, not really know what you want to do, and then like finding something like you're passionate about, and just like going for it is just like what drove me to do it and stuff. So I mean like I would tell like people who like oh, well, like what made you want to do this? I'm like, why? This is like a dream. And I was like, well, it was a dream. I just ran with it, and like, you know what? Like the rest is history, basically. And so I mean, it takes a while to like really like find that drive to find something that you really like love doing. Like when I found that, I just like took it and like ran with it, basically. So.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that's.
Now, do you feel that yourself, you have like improved? Because I know for me, like they were like, hey, you gotta like 2 years ago when I started real estate, or 2.5 years ago, they're like, you need to have better communication skills. That's also why I started this podcast, get more communication skills. But like they tell me like from like day one to like 1 year out there, like you notice you got better from day like 2 years out there, like you're really getting a lot better, and now 2.5, they're like you're like getting every year you get better and better and better talking to people.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say real estate because like like real estate and like working as like a artist manager just in the music industry in general is like kind of similar. There's similarities and stuff. Basically, like there's gonna be a lot of downs, but then when you get that like dopamine high, you're back up again, and stuff. And that's kind of like how it is like being an artist manager. Like sometimes I'm like ain't shit really happening, and then you get that one like big break, like a song gets signed to a label, or like you're doing this show, then you're like, oh, like damn, let's get it going, like like so that. And like as far as like communication skills, like like I guess like I technically started like maybe like when I actually decided like I wanted to do this was 2018, but I honestly the way like what I think how I actually started was in 2021 because like pre-pandemic, like obviously the pandemic, there's nothing really to do, and I was just going to school, and then like I would say once like the pandemic ended, my first break was that Lala weekend. We had did this Yellow Claw show. We opened up for Yellow Claw Sound Bar, and that I feel like that really was like what kicked off my like career, really, like honestly, because that really like made me like so many connections. Like I met so many people that day and like relationships that I still have to this day.
What's like a normal day for you? Like what are you doing like in the span of your day? How are you like what are you doing?
So like, I guess like
you wake up and go from there.
So like I wake up at like 9 a.m. usually 8, 9. No, I actually wake up at 8 to be honest, but wake up at 8 and then I just see what emails. I usually get emails like right in the morning about stuff like like mostly like show stuff. I'm hopping on calls, discussing like planning for like what we're gonna do, like next steps, like how can we keep building. There's like other stuff like label stuff, for instance, like if we have like songs, like sending it out to DSPs to pitching it, like if we have like an album, for instance. Just it honestly, there's nothing like, the only thing I can say you're really gonna that's consistent is that you're gonna get a lot of emails. You're gonna have to hop on a lot of calls, basically.
Now, do you just work from home if you're not like out?
Yeah, I like to work from home, or I like to work. Sometimes I like a coffee shop, honestly, because like I would say I have ADHD, so like it's hard for me to like pay attention and like the littlest things, especially being at home. Like you're gonna like get distracted by something. So I try to like go sometimes to like a coffee shop and like work there.
What coffee spots are you hitting? What are the secret spots?
Usually Sparrow and Naperville.
Oh my god!
Sparrow and Naperville, honestly.
I know you don't find no seats there. I went there once.
You'd be surprised. I usually find a spot in there. Sometimes it's really packed, but honestly, like for some reason I'm pretty lucky when I go there, and it's usually by myself. So like I don't have no like someone else with me, so I can just like find that one seat. I'm sitting there and like I'm not moving. So that's usually my spot, but. Then other than that, just going home and working from home, pretty much.
Dang, you're doing quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, in this industry, you can't really like chill. You really can't chill. Like you have to keep it going if you really want to make it. Like I don't even think I made it, so I don't think so. Like I don't think.
But you think you're in like a position where it's like. There was like it was about a year in where it's like I know exactly what I have to do to build my brand. Do you think you hit that position where it's like, okay, I know how to do like everything now, mostly to continue it forward? Like,
I definitely think I'm on the right path, but like the music industry always changes and there's always like new stuff happening and like you have to learn something new and like so there's always like a constant like learning, adapting. So I would say like I don't know. I feel like I still got like more to improve on, and like that's like really what drives me is like trying to improve and like honestly like I said like I don't think I'm gonna make it to like my own personal artist like gets big. So that's really like the goal for me.
But yeah, that's fun. You're doing pretty good.
I mean, I'm trying.
How? Now, one big thing for me is like organization. How do you keep track of like all your artists? Do you have like a sheet, or is it just like you just in your mind you know exactly where everybody's at?
So I use the Apple iPhone is like the artist manager's best friend. Honestly, like you got everything in there. You got Google Calendar. You got Apple Notes, Apple Reminders. That's how I keep track of everything. Those three tools. Like that's how I keep track. And even then, you're still gonna forget stuff. Like regardless, like you get so many texts and so many emails. It's so easy to forget.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's so easy. So like I try my hardest to like try to remember, but like sometimes like you're just gonna forget stuff. And like I mean it's fine. Like but there's obviously you try to do as much as you can to try to remember like the most important stuff that you need.
What is like you're going through everything? What's like the biggest like situation you had where like some stuff really wasn't going right for you? Like for this artist, for this day, was there something that like sticks out for you where you're just like, oh no?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I do. Funny story was I went on tour the beginning of this year. And this is the first time I actually like went on a tour as like a tour manager, and not just like a manager. Because being a manager and a tour manager are totally different things. The tour manager is really like you have to know like the equipment that's being used at these shows because like people are relying. You're like the source of contact. Like see like if like let's say like the CDJs, which is like the mixer, like goes out or something that you're able to fix it or. Like sometimes tour managers run the lighting, they run the CO2, the like if you have like confetti bombs, they run that. And then you also have like the moving parts, like you have like a VJ, which is like doing like the visuals. They're the ones that like mess with the visuals, and so like it was pretty nerve wracking going into it. And I remember like I was like very like nervous because like being like obviously an artist manager, like usually artist managers outsource tour managers for tours because like no artist manager like once you get like bigger like you don't want to like go on every stop on the tour that's like what 20 stops like you hire someone who like knows everything in and out and then you let them do it and like them handle it and like so but they had me handle it and like so it was like a very like nerve-wracking thing. I remember being really nervous so like I remember so the first time was in Houston. And I had a flight at, I think it was like 7 a.m. And I was freaking late. I was late and I missed my flight. And I was like, oh shit. Because I wanted to get there specifically really early so I can have time to plan out everything for the whole day for it. Because I'm not in charge of just one artist. I'm in charge of three artists on this tour. So I wanted to be there really early and like, plan out the whole day and everything. So make sure everything was good. And I was in charge of a VJ that we hired. And so I get there, I missed the flight. So I was like, oh, fuck. And then I was able to change my flight and get on a flight that was like an hour later. And then, but I had a stop. I forgot where we stopped. I think I stopped in like San Jose or somewhere. And I was there for like an hour and a half, which took forever. Finally land. It was like 4:00. The show's at, I believe, where we had sound check at 9 or 8, and so we land. I meet up with the artist and the VJ. We had to go pick up a rental car, and that took forever. And then the drive to our hotel was a whole hour. So that I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking ready, scrambling. I still like, I'm an airport fit. I'm not ready for the show, so I have to change everything. I didn't even eat anything, and then I'm already like nervous and like I'm like, nah, I don't want to mess up or anything like that. So just trying to get everyone ready. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like messing up the times and stuff. Like everyone's like sound checks times because I was like trying to like see like because I thought we had like multiple like drivers like picking up the artists. So but we only had one guy, so I was making this poor guy go back and forth from the venue to the hotels and pick it up everywhere. And so it was just like everyone was like, what the hell? Like, what time is it by sound check? And like everyone was like kind of like tweaking out a little bit. And then We get to me and the VJ. We get to the venue, and I forgot the name of the device that he has, but it was something that he needed for the set. And he's like, damn. He's like, oh shit, I forgot it. And I was like, can you go back to the hotel? I'm like, oh, all right. Like, so I took an Uber back to the hotel, and I went to his hotel room, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like scrambling. I'm like, bro, no, like I was like about to lose it. Like I was about to have a nervous break because I was like, he said that he needed it really bad. Like he needed it to do what he needed to do, but I couldn't find it. And yeah, couldn't find it at all. So I just told him, I was like, hey, I can't find it. I looked all over your freaking hotel room. It's not here. I don't know where it's at. I checked the car, not there. It's nowhere, bro. I checked, even asked like the person in the front desk if he left it somewhere, and yeah, no, nothing. And so I went back, and I guess he was able to do it. Yeah, without it, and it ended up running smoothly. But I remember I was like, at that point, I was like literally like about to like lose it, and I was like already nervous like coming into it. So like that was like gonna push me over the edge, but it ended up going well. First night went well, and then we went there to Dallas, and like once like you get the groove of like knowing like what they want, like what the artist wants, and they're said like timing, like, oh, I want the confetti bomb at this drop, can you do this? Like, so now like timing it out, like control like the CO2 and the confetti, and so like everything starts running more smoother after that. But that was a time that I was like literally gonna lose it.
So how long were you actually on tour for? And then is there any breaks on tour? Or is it just like
there's always it's usually breaks. Hey, you would take like a week break. So I went to maybe like 4 stops out of it, and then like the rest I didn't end up going. Like, but it was a good experience learning and actually being part of a tour.
Now, do you fly?
Yeah, you fly.
You don't bus at all?
Well, that since it was in that Texas, those first 2 stops were in Texas. We drove. That's why I got that rental car.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we drove from Houston to Dallas, but the rest was just all flying, because it was pretty like spread out. It was like every other week, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, you were able to like not having to go on flights right away. So it was a good time, good experience for sure.
Now, for someone that wants to get into the field that you want to get into, how would you do it? Lay down the foundation for some of these people.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys the sauce. Basically, if you really want to break into the industry, go to the shows that you want to go. Go support the talent buyers, the artists. Talk to people. Put yourself out there. Study. I forgot the name.
What are they studying? You got to lay the foundation.
The name of the book is The Music Business 101. I forgot the name of the author, but maybe you could drop a link to it. But read that book. That's like the Bible, honestly.
What color is it? Like, give anything.
They changed the color because there's different volumes now. But I think it's yellow and red now. But I read that. Technically, for this industry, you don't need to go to school, honestly. It's really about knowing people. That's really how it is. Like, if you know someone that does, like, who's a DJ or anyone, like, get into it, get your foot in the door, try talking to people, talk to, like, talent buyers, people that are working in shows, like, try to talk and learn. And, even podcasts, podcasts are helpful, learning about the industry. Only way you're really gonna really learn is, like, by doing it. Like, you're not just reading it and, like, knowing everything. It's, like, it doesn't compare to actually doing it and, like, really, like, being in this and, like, seeing how everything works. And then you learn from it, basically. So, like, obviously, going into, like, a tour, I didn't know how to tour manage, really. But, like, coming out of it, I did.
I was about to say, they just threw you in?
Yeah, they just threw me in, yeah.
You had no idea, like, nothing, like, that.
Like, I mean, like, I've done shows, but, like, doing tour management is a little bit different. Like I said, like, it's more moving parts and everything. Like, you're really in charge of, like, the whole show from top to bottom running smoothly. Like, you getting booked and you coming with your artist and just making sure his set just goes well is, like, nothing compared to making sure a whole show goes well. So, like, this was, like, totally different for me. So, but obviously it was a good experience. Came out, like, I feel way better now doing it. I could do it again. But that's like I said, like, in the music industry, you're not really gonna learn anything until you actually do it. And like if you see an artist like that you like or you think you can help build, like you have to build like your contacts up. Like that's why I say like go out there, meet people, talk to people that go to these shows. Like if you see like a show that you're really interested in, like I want to go and like and put yourself out there. That's really how you do it, honestly.
Well, do you have any last minute shout outs or anything like that?
Last minute shout outs, I mean, I guess like shout out all my artists, shout out all my friends, shout out to my photographer Lucas, shout out to the EDM Chicago guys, Lee, shout out to all the people in Chicago that like Flynn, all the homies in Chicago, honestly, Ari, all those guys, those are all the homies and stuff. They're all everyone trying to make it out of this.
Do you have any shows coming up like in Chicago that you'll be there?
Any shows in Chicago?
This comes out, remember, not this week, but probably next week. Do like a month out?
Nothing. Well, yeah, we do. I guess we do have Chill coming here to Concord. She's coming. She's on tour with Halfstrack, so we got that. But right now, nothing's confirmed. But we might do a Lala after. Not saying who or what, but you know, maybe might be something. And you can catch me at Spy Bar Sunday of Lala weekend for Narcolex at Dillian Nathaniel show. You can catch me there. I'll be there.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
No problem. And I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.